I'm walking to the mall and my local state restaurant, and it's about 2 miles away. Going on a walk is good for your health, but look at this. I'm literally touching grass. Isn't that awesome, gamers and anime fans? Anyway, as I'm walking, I thought about 3 words that the internet has pretty much ruined with their overuse and abuse, and I'm just going to talk about them here. The first word that's been pretty much ruined and bastardized would be woke. You see, originally the word woke meant that you were socially aware about societal problems. And don't get me wrong, I actually like living in the modern era, you know? Like, I'm glad that things aren't as problematic compared to, life in the 1950s. But human nature being what it is and, life not being perfect, which is fine, there is always going to be some sort of societal problem. But oh my god, the way certain people, specifically certain online YouTube critics, have a habit of just calling everything woke has gotten very tiresome and boring. Like, instead of just calling a piece of media, shit writing or whatever, what they'll usually resort to is calling something woke propaganda. And the problem with calling something woke propaganda is that you can literally apply it to just about anything. Like, it genuinely feels like anytime there's a movie with a gay character or a game or movie with a non-white character, it automatically gets labeled as woke propaganda. Like, I guarantee you, if the movie Django Unchained or the video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out in today's era, people would cry about it being woke propaganda. Because those are 2 pieces of media that star a black character who ends up doing a lot of harm to the white antagonistic characters. Like, I could literally call Static Shock woke propaganda because that's a show for black protagonists that also talks about, black issues. I could call Jon Stewart, aka the coolest Green Lantern, woke propaganda because he literally replaces the character Hal, who's also a Green Lantern as well. And these people who abuse the word woke, they also have a habit of calling any piece of media that has a female main character a girl boss. Like, goddamn, imagine if Kill Bill came out nowadays. That movie will literally cause a fit because the main character, the bride, or Beatrice, is a strong woman who ends up killing a shitload of men. People on YouTube bitched about Ghost of Yote having a strong female character because, hey, that's unrealistic for the samurai times. But nobody gave Ghost of Tsushima the same shit for having the same thing, only with side characters. So yeah, overall, the word woke has pretty much been overused and abused to the point where nobody even really knows what it means anymore when you apply it to movies and video games. Like, every time I ask someone to define woke, I get a bunch of different examples and a bunch of different definitions because nobody can really define it, right? For example, some anti-woke person will say that, it's okay for a piece of media to have gay characters in it. And then another anti-woke person will be like, oh, this is woke propaganda because there's gay characters in it. Like, make up your fucking mind. And don't get me wrong, there definitely are pieces of media that are trying to push a certain political agenda or a viewpoint, but overall, it's not everything. Like, Jesus Christ, one of my favorite games ever is Final Fantasy VII, the PS1 version, not those shitty remakes. And that game has anti-capitalism messages. That game has pro-environmentalist messages. The game has minority characters, including one of which being a main character himself, Barrett. The game has strong women. But, by certain people's definitions, that game would constitute as being woke propaganda. I don't really think it's woke propaganda. I just think it's, these people being over hypersensitive pussies. And hey, speaking of over hypersensitive pussies, let's talk about the left. The types of people that want to dox and destroy your life because you didn't like the movie Ghostbusters 2016. Grifter, that is a word I see and hear leftist YouTubers misuse and abuse all the time. You see, the definition of the word grifter, according to Google, is someone who basically swindles people out of their money using sneaky tactics and whatnot. For example, right, a grifter would be someone like Nigel West Dickens from Red Dead Redemption 1. That's a character who swindles people out of their money by cheating in horse races, and he also sells, medicine. Except the medicine isn't actual medicine. It's just a bunch of made-up tonic that has no scientific backing whatsoever. However, dumb people in the 1900s automatically believe that is quote-unquote medicine is some sort of miracle cure. And Nigel West Dickens 100% knows that his miracle cures aren't actually curing anyone and that they're 100% bullshit, but he still decides to sell them anyway. That's a grifter. That's a perfect example of a grifter. Now, when left-leaning people on YouTube or on the internet, specifically Reddit, call you a grifter, it basically means that you had a different opinion from them when it comes to a piece of media. Retards like Anthony Gramuglia, Otterly Noah, and the Birdman are the most famous examples of people who I immediately think of when it comes to abusing the word grifter. You don't like a movie or a video game that they like? Oh, well, you're automatically a grifter. Except not liking a piece of media isn't grifting at all. It's just having an opinion. Oh my gosh. Like, they'll go out of the way to call certain people, like the critical drinker, a grifter. But the critical drinker is not a grifter at all. He gives opinions on media, and people choose to give him money or not. Like, that's not grifting, because his audience already knows what they're getting into. Asmongold himself gets called a grifter, despite the fact that he's not really selling any dangerous products or anything like that that could endanger people. So I don't really get that either. And a major irony with these types of people is that they love to preach the importance of media literacy when they themselves lack literacy when it comes to the English language. Speaking of which, the words media literacy have pretty much been busted and broken beyond belief. You see, anytime you don't have a positive opinion on a certain piece of media, expect some Reddit nerd to, respond with you with a comment saying, media literacy. Seriously, nowadays you can't have a single negative opinion on any piece of media whatsoever without someone leaving something along the lines of, you missed the point, media literacy. When people respond with media literacy as a defense, they're literally trying to gaslight you for not having thoughts that align with their own. So yeah, if you go around saying, media literacy, I just want to say you're a very annoying, condescending person, and I don't wish you well in life. And I noticed that it's usually people online that go around saying this stuff. Like, I don't see anybody in real life going around talking like this, abusing the words woke or grifter or media literacy. So what I would recommend that you do, if you're plagued with this kind of autism, is that I recommend that you leave Twitter, leave Reddit, go watch some educational videos on YouTube or something like that, or just go outside, interact with people. Or hey, you don't gotta interact with people. Maybe you can just go on a walk and reflect. And just stop being a total retard. Another overused and abused term that's starting to die off really fast would be the word LARPer.